Hi, everybody. How are you? Good. My name is Damon Heitman. I am the chaplain to the college. I have two official responsibilities at this moment. The first is to invite the gentlemen to remove their caps, if they would please. The second is to offer our invocation. And so if you are so inclined, I would invite you to join me in a moment of prayer. Loving God of all of our days, on a dreary, drizzling, raindroppy day, we have the thrill of accomplishment to cheer us. On a windy, chilly, messy, March in late May kind of day, we have the glow of a diploma, the generosity of colleagues, the courage of friendship, the patience of family, and the ever-present faithfulness of the Hastings College ferns to sustain us. And this day, God, with its messy mix, is a reflection of our time here. It is chill mixed with warmth. It is wind met with shelter. It is challenge eased by respect. It is fear nudging next to love. It is success bumping up against failure, resting place and launching pad all in one. And this is life as well, joy mixed with sorrow, anxiety nestled amid contentment, confusion holding hands with certainty, dreams accommodating reality, pain and healing all in one treatment. Meetings and partings, comings and goings, brokenness and restoration all tied together. These things are inseparable, O God. They are one in the same, two sides of the same coin, and we come across them all. And from here, we move on. From this day, we go forward, O God, into the mix of life, into the unknown future of wind and chill, and also of calm and warmth. But wherever we go, after the final light is turned off and the last hug is given, whatever we may encounter, after the last door is shut and the key turns the ignition, let us always remember your love which journeys with us. Let us always remember the gifts of grace we found in one another and the blessings of this place, so that we may be blessings to others amid their own messy, mixed up, all-in-one days. Amen. If you would like to be seated, you may certainly do so.
Good morning. My name is Travis Fizel, and I have the great, deep honor of becoming the 17th president of Hastings College on June 1st. No reason to clap. This day is about you, about your families, about your journey here. And I invite you to soak in this celebration today with all that you can. So welcome. We begin the day with a reading from Scripture, perhaps one of my very favorites. Listen. If I speak in the tongues of mortals and of angels, but do not have love, I am a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. And if I have prophetic powers and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so as to remove mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give away all my possessions, and if I hand over my body so that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not envious or boastful or arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice in wrongdoing, but rejoices in the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. But as for prophecies, they will come to an end. As for tongues, they will cease. As for knowledge, it will come to an end. For we know only in part, and we prophesy only in part. But when the complete comes, the partial will come to an end. When I was a child, I spoke like a child, I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child. When I became an adult, I put an end to childish ways. For now we see in a mirror, dimly, but then we will see face to face. Now I know only in part, then I will know fully, even as I have been fully known. And now faith, hope, and love abide, these three. And the greatest of these is love.
Thank you, Dr. Fazell. One of the highest honors that any college or university can bestow is the honorary doctorate degree for distinguished service. We are pleased to confer several honorary doctorate degrees this morning, and at this time I shall ask Dr. Gary Johnson, Dr. Cass Remp, and Mr. Jim Bovey to join me at the podium for the conferring of the degrees. I shall also ask Mr. Hal Dittmer, Dr. Judy Hall, and Dr. Robin Kuzer to join me at the podium as well. Dr. Jim Locke, who is also retiring and receiving an honorary degree, is unfortunately not able to be here today.
I'm only going to read a portion of the citations for the recipients today. I encourage you to look in your program so that you can have a complete picture of the many accomplishments and contributions that these folks have made to the Hastings College community. Hal Dittmer. Hastings College is pleased to confer the honorary degree, Doctor of Business, to Mr. Harold Hal Edwin Dittmer, class of 1962. At Hastings College, Mr. Dittmer majored in mathematics, minored in physics, and planned to be a high school teacher and track coach after graduation. Instead, the then president of Hastings College invited him to serve as an assistant director of public relations and alumni affairs and to do some student recruiting. The role was then known as finding friends, funds, and freshmen. In 1964, Mr. Dittmer began a 4-year position with IBM in Des Moines, Iowa, as a systems engineer and marketing representative. In 1968, he enrolled in the University of Chicago's Graduate School of Business, where in 1970, he received a Master of Business Administration degree. Shortly after Mr. Dittmer and his wife, Judy, moved to San Francisco, where he would work as a consultant. In 1975, he started his first post-college entrepreneurial venture by founding Dittmer and Associates Sierra Resource Group, an independent business consulting firm. In 1984, he established Wellhead Electric Company, a successful independent energy company based in Sacramento, California. Wellhead has started over 20 business ventures and has developed a reputation for innovations in the electric energy space. Mr. Dittmer continues to serve as Wellhead's president and owner. Mr. Dittmer joined the Hastings College Board of Trustees in 1999 and remains a member today. He served as board chair from 2004 to 2016. Over the course of his time on the board, Mr. Dittmer has funded awards for student research, was instrumental in planning and constructing the Morrison Reeves Science Center, has provided internships to students for 13 successive years, and has worked along Hastings College presidents to uphold the mission of the college. The college confers on Mr. Hal Dittmer the degree of Doctor of Business, honoris causa, on this 20th day of May, 2017, in recognition of his outstanding contributions and loyalty to Hastings College. Dr. Judy Hall. Hastings College is pleased to present the honorary degree Doctor of Humane Letters to Dr. Judy Hall. After 16 years of service to Hastings College, she has retired as Professor of Teacher Education. Well, unless her grades aren't in yet, then. A Nebraska native, Dr. Hall earned her Bachelor of Science in Education from the University of Nebraska at Lincoln in 1970. She then went on to work as a special education teacher in Kansas and Colorado at levels ranging from pre-K to high school. Meanwhile, she worked toward a Master of Arts degree in special education at the University of Colorado at Colorado Springs, which she ultimately earned in 1989. Dr. Hall then earned her PhD in Education Administration and Leadership from the University of Colorado at Denver in 2001. Dr. Hall joined the Hastings College Teacher Education Department as an assistant professor in 2001, specializing in special education. In addition to teaching classes on special education and professional collaboration, she has been especially invested in service learning with the Teacher Education Department. Dr. Hall also served as the advisor for the Hastings College chapter of the Student Education Association of Nebraska. In recognition of her dedication to the college and her students, Dr. Hall was awarded the Polished Apple Award in 2004 from the Hastings College Student Alumni Association, the Vondrack Outstanding Advisor Award in 2007, and she was named a Champion of Service Learning in 2017. The college confers on Dr. Judy Hall the degree Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, on this 20th day of May 2017 in recognition of her outstanding contributions and loyalty to Hastings College. Dr. Robin Kuger. Hastings College is pleased to present the honorary degree Doctor of Fine Arts to Dr. Robin Kuger, who has retired as Professor of Music and Chair of the Department of Music. A Broken Bow, Nebraska native, Dr. Kuger has been dedicated to Hastings College for more than 3 decades. He served as chair of the music department for 29 years, stepping down in January 2017 to work full-time with the Hastings College Foundation as Associate Vice President of Development for Fine Arts. Dr. Kuger earned his bachelor's degree at Hastings College in 1976 and continued his education at Kearney State College, where he earned his master's degree before earning his DMA at Arizona State University. Dr. Kuger has had a significant impact on the music department, students, and the community during his time on campus. In 1996, Dr. Kuger organized the college's first large group exchange to Ozu, Japan, taking the 86-member Hastings College Choir to our sister city. That same year, he received the Outstanding Advisor Award and has been chosen to be the prestigious Artist Lecture Series Invited Faculty Lecturer on 2 separate occasions. Dr. Kuger also holds the distinction of having been named Nebraska's Outstanding Educator. A former public school music educator, Dr. Kuger has encouraged and influenced students in local church choirs and student teaching positions. He helped to establish the South Central Nebraska Children's Chorale, which for 25 years has been in residence at Hastings College. Through his organization of community events such as the Messiah and Melody Roundup, the college's rich tradition of giving back has flourished under his watch. The college confers on Dr. Robin Kuger the degree of Doctor of Fine Arts, honoris causa, on this 20th day of May 2017 in recognition of his outstanding contributions and loyalty to Hastings College. At this time, we will confer one additional honorary degree that is not listed in your program. I ask Don Jackson to approach the podium and Glenn Moss, Chair of the Board of Trustees, to the platform to assist with the hooding. Don Jackson. Hastings College is pleased to confer the honorary degree, Doctor of Business, to Mr. Don Jackson, class of 1970. Donald E. Jackson knows the Hastings College story because it is his story. A Cambridge, Nebraska native, he first entrusted Hastings College to put him on a course for a meaningful career. I'm sure he did not realize where that career would take him. Then, in the years following his graduation, he has given generously to Hastings College for capital projects and scholarships. From 2007 to 2012, he gave of his time and energy serving on the Hastings College Board of Trustees and on the Hastings College Foundation Board. During his tenure on the Hastings College Board of Trustees, he served as vice chair. After returning to Hastings College on a full-time basis in the fall of 2012 to serve as vice president for advancement, he became the college's 16th president on February 4th, 2013. Before returning to Hastings, President Jackson served as chief operating officer of Easter Seals Incorporated, which benefits more than 1 million individuals with disabilities or special needs and their families each year. Prior to joining Easter Seals, President Jackson was president of Rehabilitation Systems Incorporated, a multi-state healthcare operation that he founded. He received a BA in biology from Hastings College. He holds an MS in Rehabilitation Services Administration from DePaul University and a certificate in physical therapy from Northwestern University. The college confers on Mr. Don Jackson the degree of Doctor of Business, honoris causa, on this 20th day of May, 2017, in recognition of his outstanding contributions and loyalty to Hastings College as its first alumnus to serve as president.
And you wonder what we do in closed session. So by the authority vested in me by the trustees of Hastings College, I confer upon these honorary degrees, Doctors of Business, Doctors of Humane Letters, and Doctor of Fine Arts, with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. So congratulations, all of you.
Today, Hastings College is proud to host its annual Golden Graduation Ceremony. We are pleased to recognize and to present 50-year certificates to the members of the class of 1967. I'm going to ask that President Jackson and Dr. Remp present their golden certificates. It is truly fitting that we honor these men and women who departed our college 50 years ago. In a very real sense, this re-graduation is also a rededication to the liberal arts education they received during their years as students at Hastings College. Hastings College is proud of all of its alumni, and we are thankful that you are here today to celebrate this day with us. At this time, would all Hastings College alumni please stand as you are able so that we may recognize you. Welcome home to all of you. Now, would the members of the class of 1967 please come forward to receive your golden graduation certificate. Kenneth W. Fornander. Charles E. Fox. Donald G. Franklin. Richard M. Freeling. Elizabeth L. Hoffman. Dr. Charlene Camphy. Philip H. Kite. Frederick A. McCurdy. Larry Eugene Ramsey. Elizabeth Cunningham Robinson. The Reverend Dr. John A. Schmidt. Karen Hoffman Schmidt. Ron Dean Scott. Mary Beam Scott. Jennifer Swatchowiak Spiker. Harold W. Tout. Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 1967.
Well, sometimes you can get surprised. Before I introduce our commencement speaker, Mr. Hal Dittmer, I want to welcome distinguished members of our community to be recognized. First, I'd like to introduce the current members of the Hastings College Board of Trustees and Honorary Trustees who are in attendance today. I'd ask that you please stand and remain standing until all trustees and honorary trustees have been introduced, and then we will then recognize all with a round of applause. Glenn Moss, Chair of the Board. Hal Dittmer, immediate past Chair of the Board. Kim Dinsdale, Chair of the Hastings College Foundation. Roger Dorr, Ann Martin, Jessica Mieske, and Richard Lautzenheiser. Thank you for your care and leadership of the college and your presence with us this morning. Now I ask that all current and emeriti faculty members stand and be recognized. Thank you for your past, present, and continuing legacy and engagement of excellence on our behalf and on behalf of our students. Finally, would all administrators and staff please stand and be recognized? These individuals have served this graduating class in an exemplary fashion the past 4 years, and we are deeply grateful for your service and faithfulness. Thank you for your gifts to the college. Today, it is my distinct honor and privilege to introduce to you Dr. Hal Dittmer, our 2017 commencement speaker. As he received his honorary doctorate degree earlier today, you already learned about Hal's many personal accomplishments and his ongoing service to Hastings College. Rather than revisiting those achievements, I want to thank Hal personally and on behalf of the broader college community for his abiding love of our institution. Putting into words Hal's many and varied contributions is not easy. If you've had the time to spend with him, though, and I know many of us have, you can begin to grasp how deeply invested he is in our personal development and the development of our students, our faculty, and our staff. He has challenged us to do our best for the institution. Throughout our service together on the Board of Trustees and my presidency, Hal, I've considered it a privilege to know you, to learn from you, and to grow our friendship. Thank you, Hal. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Hal Dittmer.
Well, thank you, President Jackson, and it's an honor to be here today. I want to certainly recognize Dr. Johnson, all the folks on the podium, distinguished faculty, staff, families, friends, most important, graduates of the Hastings College class of 2017. I think there should be many proud people here today. Congratulations and thanks to each of you as you supported these fine young people in this great achievement. Graduates, your class has shown some real class along the way. You've shown caring, you handled change well, you've demonstrated growth and advancement, and as usual, you won many awards. In science research, in forensics, you won 2 national championships on the same day. Many of you were on those teams. Is that special or what? And you just one of you just won a Fulbright. So I've learned that Hastings did for many of you what it did for me over 50 years ago. The college has launched you and gotten you on the right trajectory for the next step of your life. Little physics minor talk there. I keep watching this year after year, and I just think there's got to be something in the Hastings water that makes this miracle of 50 years plus years that I've watched it, where the caring environment, the nurturing faculty, has caused that same thing to happen for all these times and for the entire 130-year history of the college. This is very special. It doesn't happen many places. I received an honorary degree a few minutes ago, and I want to include in that honor the memory of a good friend of mine and a good friend of Hastings College, the late Bobby Gotch. Bobby loved the term difference maker. And it was clear in Bobby's mind what that meant. The difference maker makes a special impact, comes through in difficult times, works a little harder, sets an example, and makes things come out the way they're supposed to. He was also a lifelong entrepreneur and someone who used entrepreneurial thinking to get things done. If there were such a thing as an entrepreneurial brotherhood, I like to think that Bobby and I would be brothers. In the rest of my talk, I'm going to try and convince you, particularly you graduates, that you too can be a difference maker and benefit from entrepreneurial thinking in your life. I've got a proposal for you. If each of you were to be difference makers and influence just 10 people in your life, just 10, and then those 10 influenced each 10 other people. You know the power of compounding. By the time, during your lifetime, you can probably have profoundly influenced 100,000 people. That's an amazing number. Each of you in your class, using the same concept of compounding, 29 million people. So think about that. Is that a legacy that you'd like? Just 10 each. I'd like to encourage you to maybe consider adding entrepreneurial skills and thinking to your bag of tricks. First thing you ought to ask is, well, how can I be an entrepreneur? How can I be a difference maker by being an entrepreneur? And what is entrepreneurial thinking? Well, 90% of you, I would bet, probably think of as an entrepreneur as someone who starts a business. Amazing as that is, entrepreneurs who do start businesses create about 75% of the new jobs in our economy. And they give a very high percentage of the charitable giving. So being a business entrepreneur can certainly be honorable work. But you may not have any plans to be in business, start a business, or try and make a lot of money. It doesn't matter. You can still be an entrepreneur, and you can still be an entrepreneurial thinker. Entrepreneurs, in fact, can be found everywhere. In churches, in the military, in nonprofits, in colleges, government, even families. There's room for entrepreneurialism everywhere. So what do entrepreneurs do? Well, I like to think that number one, they're creators. They create, they invent, they apply a creative process. They bring all kinds of diverse ingredients together and try and build something out of it. They're forced to make good decisions because they're usually working with very finite resources in an environment that feels like there are infinite needs. They make do with what they have. That's their way of life. And then they act and they try things and they fail. And they fail a lot. But if they're good, they fail fast and get over it and then try again. And sometimes the entrepreneurs, and this is not only business entrepreneurs, if you're in the arts, if you're in education, there are lots of ways that if you're an entrepreneur and you're entrepreneurial, you can make money. And the good ones, if you do so, they don't build palaces and do extravagant things. They use that money to create more jobs and to do more creative things. And then, hopefully, you give a lot of that money to worthy places like Hastings College. So now I'm going to pass on a few stories and experiences that I've had along my 40-year entrepreneurial trail. All of us have heard the story of Thomas Edison, who tried 1,000 versions of the light bulb before he got one right. I like to think of that, he looked at 1,000 options. My team is looking at a really intractable problem, and we've come up with about 20 options, and versions of those options. We'll probably have 40 or 50 before we're done, and we're going to nail it. So I encourage you, as you go through problem solving in life, develop options. Force yourself to develop options. Don't stop at the first good idea or the second good idea. And I'll observe that very few creative environments you get past the second idea and even go to the third. Force yourself. Keep developing options. Options, options, options. There's no better way to be creative. Now, the bad news is this approach drives some people crazy. Don't let it bother you. Resist a quick decision. Resist acting until you've got some good options. Because that thought process of inventing and creating options forces creativity and good thinking. So my suggestion, invent, create options, and let that be your mantra. Options, options, options. Now, not to disrespect the Hastings College math department, of which I'm a graduate, but I say that 1 + 1 does not have to equal 2. If you're an entrepreneur and you're an entrepreneurial thinker, you never accept that. You think in terms of taking one part of one thing and another part of another thing and adding those two together. Maybe those are persuasive skills and creative idea, and you never think that's only 2. That's way more than 2. And now you add some money and 1 part intense energy and 1 part extreme focus, and I guarantee you that can be 10. And now you add 1 part ego drive and energy and 1 part number skills, and now you easily got 20. And now, with any luck, the entrepreneurial idea gets really going and you get all excited and you're building something and you say, this is so much fun, we're getting ahead. So if you want to be a difference maker and influence in a special way in your life, learn some new math. Learn that 1 + 1 can equal way more than 2. No matter what you do, but particularly if you're an entrepreneur, go try and find some help. Find expertise and experience to help you. Now, I used to call this, you can learn anything with 40 phone calls. Now I say you can learn almost anything in 10 hours on Google, or 20 or 30, whatever the time is. There aren't many new problems. Many of those problems that you think are really tough ones, somebody else has already solved them. So isn't it so logical? Go find that person and talk to them and learn from them. Ask for their advice, ask for their experience and expertise. And amazingly enough, most of them would be happy to help you. So once you get that experience and expertise, now you start to work it. Work it, work it, work it. And this takes time, so spend the time. Most of the time it won't quite fit, but if you work it, work it, work it, you'll learn enormously from other people's help and experience. So you want to be a difference maker. Go find others who have expertise. Act on it, but also work it, work it, work it, and work it some more, and then go figure it out. Now, I just told you to go find some experts to help you. I've always liked the F. Scott Fitzgerald quote that the test of a first-rate intelligence is the ability to hold 2 opposed ideas in mind at the same time and still retain the ability to function. 2 competing ideas struggling for your attention, but you can still function. And I also just told you to go find expertise. Now I'm going to tell you not to trust experts. Be cautious, and just remember, always think for yourself. About 30 years ago, a friend of mine and I got very skeptical of experts. In our smart aleck way, we decided that many of them were what we called acers, always confident, seldom right. We had watched Philip Tetlock, who's a psychology professor at Berkeley, do some work in this area, and he had kept track of 28,000 expert forecasts in all sorts of fields, politics, weather, stock market, etc. And he scored those predictions, and he found that the predictions were no better than random. And as he put it, no different than a chimp throwing a dart at a piece of paper on the wall. So we felt pretty smug that Tetlock had confirmed our impressions. Well, in 2010, Tetlock worked with a U.S. government intelligence oversight group that said, let's go find some non-experts and let's have them follow a process and see whether they can predict better than the intelligence community predicted that cost $50 billion a year. He followed a process, the non-experts did. And all of them, the competing teams, tried to answer questions like, pretty easy ones. Will the leader of country Y be overthrown this year? Or will the London gold market exceed 1850 by September? Well, it turns out that the non-experts, a lot of pretty normal people, pretty much like a lot of you, by following a process of forecasting, waxed the experts. And one of the very best predictors, he's now famous, called a super forecaster, is a guy named Bill Flack. And Bill is a fellow Cornhusker from Madison, Nebraska. He did not spend his career in a big think tank. He worked for the USDA as an irrigation specialist. Bill lives just down the road over in Kearney. Now, super forecasters, what are they like? Well, they're good with numbers. Not PhD level math. Bill admits that he couldn't make it in a PhD program in math, but really good at arithmetic and really good at that skill level that's about equivalent to reading anymore in terms of importance, called knowing how to use Excel. A little bias there coming out maybe. Basic math and basic probability. Super forecasters are lifelong learners. Faculty would love to hear that. They keep an open mind. They write their thoughts down and check them later and see whether they were any good. Sound like a good liberal arts graduate. They work as a team, and Bill insisted, make sure you tell people to do this, you got to work as a team. That debates, argues, shares data, and challenges one another. And they think and speak in terms of probabilities as they come up with their forecasts. So if you want to be a difference maker, seek expertise, absolutely. But also use a good process to be your own expert and keep two open parts in your mind. Years ago, I knew an enterprise where absolute survival was at stake. This reality seems to come often anymore in this modern world of disruption. I got to know two people who worked at this enterprise, and the first person said he was stimulated by helping this organization. They flew airplanes, a little clue. And he wanted to keep, by helping this organization, this was his way of keeping the right size rock in his shoe, to be stimulated. Stay sharp. Helped him keep some stimulus going. Things turned out really well for him. Another fella said, this place has been here 75 years, it'll survive, cool it. He'd punched the cruise control button. Not surprisingly, things didn't work out so well for him. So to be a difference maker, keep the right size rock in your shoe, and don't ever punch the cruise control button. Now, my friend Bobby Gotch was a difference maker and a great entrepreneur in ranching, farming, and cattle feeding. He paid attention to details. Some of you knew Bobby, and you're occasionally surprised at that, but he paid extreme attention to some details. Here's an example. We drove out to the Gotch feedlot west of Hastings one day, and we started watching a feed truck that had just started to unload along a feed bunk for a large pen of cattle. About 200-foot long feed bunk, as I recall. And the goal there is to deliver an even amount of feed all the way along that feed bunk. And at the end, the feed truck's empty. That way, if there's distribution all along the feed bunk, the smaller cattle, who can't compete against the larger ones, who are at the beginning of the bunk, they get to eat too, down there at the end. Bobby watched this and observed and said, well, this driver's going to get it right. I can see. Well, how do you know, Bobby? Well, the smaller animals are walking to the end. They trust this guy. And this guy always wins the bonus pool for doing this. So I know he's going to get it right. Bobby and his team did paid attention to details, set this up that way. So to be a difference maker, pay attention to the details. That way the feed bunk always gets filled all the way to the end. Now, there's a saying around Hastings College forever called pursue your passion. It's been a long time theme. Now, I know personally, and I'm betting that many of you graduates know that it's sometimes hard to figure out just what is my passion. Many of you started to hear all the way back in grade school, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? Or what are you going to major in? And some of you didn't know then, and some of you don't know yet. Don't worry about it. It's okay. You'll figure it out. In my own case, I was way older than many of you, before I got my real first idea what my passion was, and your passions are going to change, predictably, 4 or 5 times in your lifetime. I was 50 when I figured out what my last one is going to be, and I think it's the last one, but we'll see. I've got new ideas. Maybe I'll have to go try something else. I don't know. But in the meantime, what do? Well, I got a simple answer. It's biased, but it's simple. Be entrepreneurial about it. Look around for ideas. Invent. Look at options. Be creative. Make 40 phone calls. Adjust. Try some stuff. Experiment. You can always get a job, so don't worry about it. And try stuff and figure it out. There's a saying, if nothing else really trips your trigger, a life well lived is one of constant learning. So if you haven't figured out your true passion, just be a constant learner until you figure it out. And it works like a charm. That can be your passion until you figure out something better. So if you want to be a difference maker and you haven't figured everything out, just be an entrepreneur about it, and answers will eventually come to you. Now, no commencement speech would be complete without telling you, never, ever give up. That's in every speech. I'd like to add a slightly different twist. Failing is good. It's inevitable. Wait a minute. That seems inconsistent. I'm not supposed to give up, but I just failed. Well, failing is the way you learn. And good entrepreneurs know that really well because you fail a lot. But the good ones try and try again. So to be successful, to be a difference maker, if you have a good thing going, nothing beats persistence and continuing on against great odds. So understand yourself. Sometimes you got to double back and rethink and adjust course. That's not failing, that's just learning. So understand yourself. Persist. Don't be afraid to fail. Think. And if after thinking and reflection, you still believe in that goal, you still believe in that passion, then keep trying, and then never, ever give that up. So to the graduating class of 2017, I hope you'll be a difference maker. Invent, let options be your mantra. Learn new math, seek expertise, but be your own expert, and make it a habit out of work it. Stay vital, engaged, keep that right size rock in your shoe, and pay attention to the details and set things up so they work out right. And as you identify your dreams and passions, I hope you'll work them until you finally figure it out. And most of all, I hope you'll decide to influence the lives of 10 people. 10 people. So if you commit to that, just 10 people, you remember the numbers, each of you, almost 100,000 people, and your class, 29,000 people, 29 million people, sorry. If you're willing to join in that exciting journey, I'd like for you to silently make that kind of a commitment. Only 10 people. Thank you very much. It's been an honor to speak to you today, and I'm proud of each of you. Go Broncos.
Thank you, Dr. Lang and the Hastings College Band for your salute to the class of 2017. And thank you, Hal, for your wisdom, your inspiration, and your many contributions to Hastings College. President Jackson, it is with a great deal of pride that I present to you the graduating class of 2017. Within the hour, 273 students will be the recipients of bachelor's degrees, and 18 students will be the recipients of master's degrees. As the provost of Hastings College, I must say that I am extremely impressed with the academic record which has been achieved by the members of the class of 2017. Bachelor's degrees with honors, cum laude, magna cum laude, and summa cum laude, are traditionally awarded to the top 12% of the undergraduate class. This year, the minimum cumulative grade point average to be included in the top 12% is over 3.9. It is customary to recognize individually those students who are graduating summa cum laude in the top 3% of the class. This year, 9 students are receiving this honor. All have perfect 4.0 grade point averages. As I read your name, would you and members of your family, as you are able, please stand and remain standing. Audience, please hold your applause until all names have been called. Emily Barnes, Kelly Bosshart, Matthew Brown, Abra Misselt, Cody Newland, Kalina Odd, Alex Olney, Sean Selko, Amanda Stalvey. Please join me in congratulating all of these honor graduates. Mr. President, will you please come to the podium? And will the candidates for the degrees Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Music, and Master of Arts in Teaching please rise? Is everybody? But don't come forward yet. Mr. President, these candidates for the degree have completed the program of study and other requirements prescribed by the faculty. I therefore present them to you for conferral of the degree.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Hastings College and confirmed by a vote of affirmation from the trustees, I do hereby confer upon you Bachelors of Arts, Bachelors of Music, or Bachelor of Arts in Teaching with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
You may be seated. Bachelor of Arts candidates, please rise by rows and proceed to the platform to receive your diplomas. We will begin with our summa cum laude graduates. Emily Barnes, high distinction in English and Publishing. Kelly Bosshart, high distinction, middle school education. Matthew Brown, high distinction, physics. Abra Misselt, high distinction, elementary education and special education. Cody Newland, high distinction, physics. Kalina Odd, high distinction, psychology. Alex Olney, high distinction Spanish and sociology. Sean Selko, high distinction biochemistry and molecular biology. Amanda Stalvey, high distinction elementary education and special education. The following group is graduating magna cum laude. Trevor Birdzell, high distinction physical education and exercise science. Brendan Brayman, high distinction physics, computer science, and mathematics. Marcus Brown, high distinction physics. Kaya Coleman, high distinction biology. Jordan Colony, high distinction history and English. Matthew Gray, high distinction agribusiness. Miguel Mendoza Castaneda, high distinction business administration and marketing. Sarah Nelson, high distinction music education and vocal performance. Susanna Zock, high distinction elementary education. The following group are graduating cum laude. Aaron Chilton, high distinction elementary education. April Feynman, high distinction agribusiness and human resource management and psychology. Paxton Fiala, high distinction exercise science. Anna Griggs, distinction communication. Alexandra Hart, high distinction business administration. Nicole Havlick, high distinction English. Margaret Johnson, high distinction studio art. Jennifer Clout, high distinction business administration, hospitality management, and human resource management. Megan Cruz, high distinction health systems. Madison Paskovic, high distinction health systems. Lauren Perkins, high distinction accounting. McKenna Reed, high distinction elementary education, special education, and Spanish. Our honors graduates are not the only high-achieving scholars on campus. Indeed, many of our graduates who will follow are completing their degrees with distinction or high distinction in a particular field of study. I will not be calling each of these distinctions and the majors, but I encourage you to look in your insert as those students are listed with that distinction there. Eunice Adumpe. Juan Fernandez. Catherine Amio. Ian Askey. Sienna Athey. Marissa Avalos. Brandon Bockel. Sean Backer. Ricardo Bailey. William Baird. Caitlin Ball in absentia. Cameron Bargell. Brady Barrett. Ashley Bartle. Michaela Bax. Caitlin Bank. Samuel Bennett. Trevor Benson. Natalie Bernero. Kirsten Burns. Madeline Belkey. Chloe Bakey. Austin Bogner in absentia. Maria Bohannon Mickey. Ian Bowers. Daniel Brado. Alexandra Brockhouse in absentia. Jordan Brown. Jocelyn Bruns. Johnson Bowie. Melissa Burke. Devin Burr. Jaden Butler. Tanner Campbell. Ethan Carpenter. Dwayne Carr. Dimitro Chapura. Luke Christensen. Marissa Christianci. Bailey Christie. Jordan Clancy. Zachary Clemens in absentia. Carolyn Clements. Zachary Klingen. Darren Colquitt. Philip Cook. Evelyn Coral. Dylan Countryman. Amanda Cox. Sarah Cox. Vanessa Cox. Jacob Creven. Logan Davis. Garrett Delphia. Miranda Denclow. Aaron DeWard. Sydney Dexter. Caleb Dodge. Tia Douglas. Logan Drupal. Austin Druce. Antonio Duncan. Lily Ely. Maddie Edelman. Alexandria Edwards. Hunter Ellis. Benjamin Erb. Justine Erickson. Chanel Farmer. Alexis Ferguson. Michael Forsman. Kelsey Fox. John Funky. Jason Gaines Jr. Juan Gallegos Villegas. Brenna Geiger. Taylor Geis. Christopher Genovese. Gregory Gennert. Dakota Geegan. Nicholas Jeffaloni. Crystal Giebler. Jessica Gonzalez. Jasmine Gonzalez. Sarah Goodman. Jaden Graybill. Laura Gregory. Karen Grago. Catherine Grease. Madeline Gudenkoff. Mark Goosewell. Crystal Gia. Thomas Guthrie. Elizabeth Harlow. Elizabeth Hartman. Haley Hartman, in absentia. Danielle Hastings. Brandon Hedgecock. Morgan Heiss. Russell Heitman. Lauren Helbush. Molly Hermelbrot. Ashton Hernandez. Joel Hernandez. Ricky Hyman. Joshua Heinrichs. Molly Hoff. Joshua Horn. Braden Horton. Joshua Holbert. Helen Huddifer. Ness Eo. Leilwani Eo. Caitlin Janke. Brendan Johnson. Adam Johnson. Allison Johnson. Amanda Jo Johnson. Chelsea Johnson. Joshua Johnson. Katie Johnson. Jacob Kampschneider. Haley Kellogg in absentia. Chance Chiopagna. Tawny King. Adam Knight. Darvante Knight. Kyla Krepsick. Andrew Kuda. Celine Lake. Shannon Lane. Maria Laura. Stephanie Liebsack. Jared Liesemeyer. Angela Lincoln. Mason Lindblom. Lucas Lindgreen. Thomas Littell. Olivia Letterly. Esteban Lopez. Drew McGee. Amanda Marcotte. William Mayers. Corey Marmette. Shelby Moshman. Loriana May. Kelly McBride. Noah McKeever. Tara McVicker. Hannah Mieske. Anna Meganhart. Taylor Mendenhall. Emma Menhusen. Allison Merrill. Andrew Mickey. Amanda Miller, in absentia. Ryan Miller. Molly Mitchell. Michaela Molifua. Jenna Montgomery. Trey Moore, in absentia. Amber Morgan Flash. Samuel Morris. Cody Morse. Tyler Murphy. Nicholas Musgrave. Ty Neal. Mark Nellis. Michael Nelson. Chloe Onken. Abby Ortmeyer. Grant Parks, in absentia. Zachary Perella. Christopher Peasley. Jacob Peitzmeyer. Zane Peterson. Aaron Peterson, in absentia. Jessica Peterson. Matthew Post. Abigail Preisler. Sierra Ramos. Caitlin Reese. Emily Reimer. Jacob Reynoso. Justin Reese. Annie Rogers. Jane Rogers. Lydia Rodesil. Nicolette Sanchez, in absentia. Tanner Sandvik. Donato Santos. Jennifer Schmidt. Alexander Schmidt. Abigail Schmitz. Kelly Schreibvogel. Michaela Schroeder. Nicholas Schumann. Tyler Schuster. Madeline Sharp. Chantel Silva. Leah Smith. Justin Stagmeyer, in absentia. Reed Stone. Dana Strand. Alec Stremmel. Ryan Sullivan, in absentia. Madeline Swoboda. Tegan Sitzma. Grant Swanik. Laurel Teal. Caesar Tino. Colin Tedesco. Julia Tebow. Latika Thompson. Abby Teal. Derek Tinnerstedt. Drew Tomalin. Jared Terrell. Blake Treat. Harmony Tren. Parker Trumbull. Taryn Twarek, in absentia. Maria Van Kirk, in absentia. Jordan Volk. Glenn Wallace. Kyle Weber. Mallory Weiss. Catherine Welk. Scott Westcoat. Nathan Westerby, in absentia. Tucker White. Julie Wilcox. Dakota Willems. Kara Williams. Melissa Willman. Cassandra Winter. Zachary Witt, in absentia. Atela Wittoon. Ann Wolf. Michaela Wright. How about one more round of applause for our Bachelor of Arts? Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Music please rise and proceed to the platform to receive your diplomas? Zadia Hirschman. Colt Hazelton. Jacob Nienhieser. All right, and one more round of applause for our music graduates. Will the candidates for the degree Master of Arts in Teaching please rise and proceed to the platform to receive your diplomas and to be hooded? I now call upon Professor Turner McGee, Faculty Marshal, to escort the graduate committee chairs, Dr. Cass Remp, Dr. Judy Hall, Ms. Lisa Smith, Dr. Barbara Sunderman, Dr. Amy Morris, and Dr. Antje Anderson to the platform area to assist with the hooding of the master's degree recipients. Lindsay Ansbach. Melissa Avila, in absentia. Kyle Beeman. Jamie Bockerman. Simon Brown, in absentia. Haley Buckman. Christopher Hart, in absentia. Caitlin Mogilevsky. Casey Molifua. Kelly O'Connor, in absentia. Kyle Oteneru, in absentia. Tobin Reinwald. Bethany Reener. Justin Roberts. Scott Robertson, in absentia. Lauren Shoemaker Hewitt. Tiffany Shorey. Crystal Warner. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me one more time in congratulating the entire graduating class of 2017.
Wow. Well, before I begin my charge to the class, I would like to thank all the parents and all the grandparents in the audience today. Thank you for trusting us to educate your young person. It has truly been a privilege for us to get to know them over the last few years. Would all the parents and all the grandparents of the graduates please stand and be recognized? Thank you. Dr. Dittmer, Dr. Fizel, Dr. Johnson, honored guests, faculty, trustees, parents, and most importantly, the Hastings College class of 2017. It is a great joy for me to be here with you today. Congratulations, graduates, on reaching this important milestone in your professional career. This is actually the first of what I hope will be many professional accomplishments over the course of your life. In almost every way, your time at Hastings College has been a transition from your earlier life to your future. It will be exciting for me to follow many of you as your careers continue and as you move on to the next stage of your life. My remarks today are going to be very brief because I want you to be able to go out and enjoy, and I also want to share a little bit of time with Dr. Travis Fizel, the 17th president of Hastings College. Well, this is it. And so there are just a couple of things that I want to share with you, life lessons that I've learned since I graduated from Hastings College as a biology major in 1970, and then headed off to Northwestern University in Chicago to become a physical therapist. These life lessons seem simple to me today, but most came with deep emotions and sometimes trauma. Like I said, there are many, many life lessons, and you have your own, but here are just 4 of mine. The first one, believe in yourself. It seems simple, doesn't it? But there will be many times when if you don't believe in yourself, no one else will either. Many, if not most of you, have already experienced this feeling. People who are important to you are questioning your decisions. It's lonely, and sometimes you feel abandoned. Please remember to not abandon yourself. This is one of the most important lessons I've learned in life. Believing in myself and approaching life every day with a positive and healthy attitude. There have been so many times in my life when people have questioned my path or my decisions, sometimes in aggressive ways or in a manner that feels hurtful to me. I try to always weigh their perspective against my own beliefs, but generally speaking, if I truly believe my decisions are correct and I'm committed to them, I find opportunities opening up for me that I otherwise would not have achieved. So the first lesson that I have today, please believe in yourself. The second one, there's only 4. The second one is kind of hard to share, to be honest. It was a lesson that was very elusive for me. It's avoid walking on the dark side. Now, some of you may not know what I'm referring to. To me, it's best described as self-destructive behavior or way of living. From the perspective of someone who's spent some time on the dark side, it appears to me that there are certain individuals who may have never found its lair. If that is true, that's very, very good. Because the dark side has its own special way of drawing you in and trying its best to not let you out. Those of you who've been there know what I'm talking about. The dark side has the potential to destroy you, regardless of your previous success. For most who experience it, it limits your progress and your success. It can present itself in many different ways, but if you've been there, you know it. Please do whatever you can to avoid the dark side. My third lesson came easier for me. It is seek to find the best in other people. There are frequent times when we cannot understand where someone's coming from, or we flat out don't like or respect them. The fact is, sometimes we may even have to move in different directions. Nevertheless, more often than not, that individual with a different perspective or a different personality may be the key person to help you reach a goal, or to accomplish a task, or to figure something out. This has happened to me so many times that I lost count long ago. Usually, once we found a common goal, deep respect develops, and sometimes even friendship. So seek to find the best in other people. And finally, one of my realities that I believe could be helpful to you: pursue your dreams, don't wait for them. However, don't be so rigid that you miss opportunities. Setting goals with strategies and tactics to achieve them has been a driver for me my entire adult life. And it's well documented that most individuals experience 1 to 2 major changes in their professional careers throughout their working years. My path was a little more dramatic, with 4 major career transitions. Setting career goals and pushing to achieve them can lead to unbelievable opportunities. But at the same time, be willing to explore new opportunities that you may not have been thinking about, that may be different from what you were pursuing. I've seen this happen so many times, where people miss opportunities when it's knocking at their door because they were too focused on something else. Taking a less obvious road or path has been a key to whatever success I've achieved. All I'm saying to you is, be attentive. Be attentive to opportunities or situations that may not be your highest priority. So like I said, this is it. Thank you. Good luck to each of you. I just want you to know what an honor it's been for me to serve as president of Hastings College for the last 4.5 years. It's been a privilege for me to get to know you and spend time with many of you, and to offer a minor role in your current and future success. As I said at the beginning of my remarks, I'm eager to learn of your future success. It is now my privilege to introduce Dr. Travis Fizzell. As I said yesterday, Travis and I have been working together closely since January. I have great confidence in his leadership and all that he, his spouse Carol, and their family will bring to Hastings College. But most importantly for today, Dr. Fizzell will be your Hastings College president as you move on in your professional career. Please join me in welcoming to Hastings College, Dr. Travis Fizzell.
I love today. I love today. Baccalaureate, commencement, these are some of my favorite days on a small college campus. They're powerful days that will sit with you for a long time. 2 weeks ago, parents, grandparents, our places were reversed. I sat in the audience as I watched my oldest son, the oldest of my 4. I may have a daughter coming to Hastings College next year, so I may be a parent as well that way. But my oldest son graduated from a college that looked very much like this one, small, liberal arts, residential. And I loved it. I loved it not just because my son was off of my payroll. Parents, it's a fleeting moment. But as I sat there and took in the pomp and the circumstance and the very special quality that is a small college commencement ceremony, I smiled. And not that you were supposed to be paying attention to me today, that's not the point of this, but I smiled a lot today. I smile a lot all the time, it's a habit. But today and that day watching my son, it's because there's something special and unique and distinctive about a ceremony at a place like Hastings. I had 3 ceremonies. I only attended one of them. One, I was playing baseball at a conference tournament. The other was 4,000 miles away. But I got to attend my doctoral ceremony, and it was utterly boring. It was in an enormous arena, about 5 times the size of this one, and it was like a cattle call. Herded through, go that way, point that way, and there was absolutely no time to pause, to look left, to look right, to look up, to look down, to look back, to say thank you, to celebrate. First time I got a taste of that was in 1997. It was the first time I was at a small college and was able to be part of a ceremony like this one. And it was beautiful like this one. There were people, there were stories, there were parents, there were relationships, there were hugs, there were smiles, and all of it happened because it was intimate. Joyful in a way that other commencement ceremonies at larger places just cannot be. It's different in places like this because the focus is centrally on you, the students. It's your stories. It's what you've done. It's where you're going. It's who you've become. This day is a ceremony to celebrate you, and we should be doing it in the most joyful and wonderful way. So, my charge, about the only thing holding you between now and lunch and a little more celebration, is pretty simple. Charge number 1, smile. A lot, often, it makes the world go round. Practice. I see it right there. Do it. Smile. Charge number 2, live. Life is not a career. It's not a job. That's not why I came here. It's an outcome of coming here, but it's not why you came here. You came here to go live a life. To live a powerful life, a productive life, as a leader, a spouse, a partner, contributing to your citizenry, contributing to your community, contributing to this world. Go do it. Go live into that future and experience it with great depth and great joy. Charge number 3, give. Give of yourself, your time, your talents, and your treasure when you're able. Be in the habit of giving. It feels good. It changes the world. There are a lot of people in here who gave so you can be here today. People who gave their time, their talent, and people who gave their treasure so that you could have this experience. Give back when you can in all of those ways and give generously. So in the coming months and years, you and I will be getting to know one another better. We'll see each other at events. You'll hear from me. You'll hear from the college through letters, emails, other kinds of communications. But I really implore you, for those of you that have interaction with me, know that this is sincere. Communication shouldn't just be one way. Come back at me. Reach out to me. Tell me about your experience that you had here. I know some of it, I want to know more of it. Tell me what went right. Tell me what didn't go so right. But my instinct tells me, it's the celebration point of today, that what you will remember will be a lot more of that former going right and a lot less of that latter, because it's a special place. So come back to campus and continue to be part of that special place. Come back with a smile. Life is grand today and always, so enjoy. To the class of 2017, go out into the world and be well.
It is my pleasure now to reintroduce Dr. Robin Kuzier to the stage to lead us in the singing of the Hastings College alma mater. Following the song, the Reverend Damon Heitman will give the benediction. Following the benediction, we ask you to please remain seated until the graduates have recessed. Thank you very much. Dr. Robin Kuzier, take it away.
The words to the alma mater are found on the back cover, inside of the back cover. Please stand as we sing the Hastings College alma mater. Dear friends, again we sing in voices loud and strong to Hastings College, echoing once more our glorious song. To her white and crimson banner, to her spirit proud and free, to alma mater now we sing in loving loyalty. Hastings to thee.
I've got about 20 minutes of this, so I really hope that you don't have lunch plans. What's that? You do have lunch plans? Okay, let's just get on with it. Sisters and brothers and sisters, as we depart from this place and this time, let me offer these words of blessing. Go in peace. Go in peace to love and serve God. Go in peace to love and serve one another. Go in peace to love and serve the world. Amen.